Okay, so we can continue with the deployments then. Okay, we have no pods here. No resources found, so we can continue with the deployment. This time I will create an Nginx deployment. And within that deployment, I will use this specification. As you can see, inside the kind field, we have deployment instead of pod. And here, the name of the deployment is hello deployment. And we have also a label here. As you can see, we have replicas. That means there will be only one replica for this specific pod. And within the container section, we have another image called, I have already created this image, and it is on the public Docker Hub. And it has a container port relates to this one. Let me save this and apply. So as you can see, it is creating, but the pod name is a bit different because we actually created a deployment, or you can reduce this to the deploy. And we have one deployment. This is for handling or controlling your pods. This deployment is automatically created and hash, and then give it to the desired pod. So when you do this one, let's say that, okay. Okay, running 0 restart, and it has an age here. I will do this right now. Let's say that Nginx deployment, and then I will try to increase this to 3. Okay, as you can see, the replica count is increased to 3. As you can see here also. And all of them are running currently. What else if I try to delete this one? As you can see, even I delete this pod, it will automatically recreate it by the deployment. Do you think, is this a good feature? Yes, no? As you can see, this is created recently. So with this deployment thing, you are very sure on that your replica will be in a desired state. What else with these deployments? So we have a service, we have a deployment here, but what about accessing to this deployment? Because as you may already know, deployments are the ready packages for your system. There is an application running here. Okay, there is no problem there. It is able to execute something, etc. But what else I try to access to this deployment? You need to expose this to the outside by using services. Let me expose this deployment to the outside. For the different kind of example, I will provide this with a interactive imperative command. So in order to expose this deployment to the outside, you can use kubectl expose deployment. And what is the name of the deployment? Hello deployment. As you can see, the service exposed to the outside, but when you do this one, service or SVC, you can use both of them. As you can see here, there is a hello deployment. By default, it is exposed to the outside by using cluster IP. There is different kind of service type, but this is not in the scope of this session. We will give you detailed explanation in a different webinar. But here you will be able to access this service within the cluster by using this cluster ID within the cluster. Let me create another service, because this is service, okay, no problem, but how can we connect two services between each other by using this notation here? I will create another service here. We have only hello deployment here, but let me give you another example. This time, let's say that deployment YAML. Actually, it has same specification, but let's say that it has different name and different labels. Okay, we have two deployments right now. Okay. In order to not having insufficient CPU, I will decrease the replica to the 1 again. Okay. So we have two services here. And then I will try to expose other service to the outside. So we have two services, and by default they are cluster IP, as you can see. And let me, okay, this is our pods. Let me switch to this tab. And I will exec into this container, this pod, sorry. So if you have multiple container, you need to provide your container by providing the key -c. But if you only have one container and if you provide pod name, you will directly go into the default container. This is the entry point command. So my container has an Alpine image, so it will have an sh instead of bash. So I am inside the first service, that is hello deployment. Okay. When you say so we have two services, right? One of them is hello deployment, and another of them is hello notepad deployment. As you can see, there is a when I say ns lookup, you will see this full URL here. But I think we will have no curl installed here. Let me okay. As you can see, okay, I also can use this one, not default. As you can see, it is very simple, right? If you have multiple services, you can access between each other by using their name. I am inside the hello deployment, but I can access hello notepad deployment by using its name. What is this notation? At the same time, let me exec into another container, which is this one. Next time I will use an image that already currently installed. So when you say ns lookup which service engine hello, okay, this is hello deployment is this one. So you can access this by using curl. Okay, as you can see, you will be able to access these services by using name. There are two notations here. You can grab the IP and port, they may change. Okay, you can grab the IP and port by using environment variables. For example, here you can use hello deployment service or hello deployment port here, TCP, this one. You can grab port from here, you can grab IP from here, and then combine them and make a call. The first way is using environment variables. The second way is using automatic service discovery. In order to use the notation that I already used here, like this, you need to have kubedns enabled within your cluster. On some clusters, it is not enabled by default, but you can enable that by applying some commands. What else? What else here? So this is the service-to-service communication. Do you have any question with this? If you have, you can stop me and then ask. Okay, I think no question here. There's a final topic here, but I need to be sure on if I have any quota problems about the cloud service. So let's say that you are trying to expose this service by using some load balancing strategy. As you can see here, let me close this one and exit from this container. When you say kube get services XO wide, here we will get some detailed explanation about this service. As you can see here, hello deployment and hello node port does not have any kind of external IP here, because with the design of the Google Cloud, I am using Google Cloud, as I said in the very beginning of the session. There is no such a strategy directly exposing services to external IP. So here, in order to expose this service to the outside, you need to create an ingress for this. Ingress is for managing traffic to the outside that in order to route to the internal services by using some route definition within that file, and then it also manages the load balancer right in the Google Cloud. Yes. Do you have to expose the deployment first in order to use DNS lookup? Yes, because it needs to be, let's say that once you expose your service to the outside, it can be a different type of it. It will be automatically populated on the endpoint API. There is an endpoint API within the Kubernetes system, and it is automatically populated once you expose your services to the outside. Because let's say that not all of the deployments should be exposed to the outside. Let's say that it is a scheduled job or something like that. So there will be no reason to expose that deployment to the outside. So, and since you didn't expose that deployment to the outside, you don't need to put that deployment into discovery service, because expose service and it automatically inserted to the service discovery system. And here, let me create another deployment, and this time it will be node port. I will here I will delete this one, for example. Okay, we have deleted that one, but deployment is still there. Okay, this one. So I will expose service to the outside again, but this time the type will be node port. Node port means you can access this application by using this port specified here, okay, by using any IP of your cluster. For example, I have only one cluster within the Google Cloud, and then by using that IP plus this port, I can access this application, okay? But as I said earlier, since the design is not working like that, Google does not expose the services to the outside automatically. So we need to create an ingress for this. So here, we will add an ingress definition first. What was the name of? So this is our service name. So here I will put this one. So this time the kind is ingress, and then I am providing a name And the definition is very simple. Once this ingress is created on the Google Cloud, this ingress will enable request from the outside to the service on the backend side by using this definition. So this ingress is for this service and this port that actually equals to our service here. Okay, so in order to activate this one, just apply ingress. And you can okay, it may take a couple of minutes in order to affect this one, but most probably I will have some quota problems. Let me check again. Yeah, let me show you this one. Yeah, here, this is Google Cloud Platform. So since I executed the hello ingress, it is trying to creating that ingress. And the YAML definition is here, as you can see. So once this ingress activated, all the traffic coming to this ingress will be automatically proxied to this service on the backend side. But again, yeah, due to some quota problems, I am not able to go there. But the main logic is there, creating an ingress in order to enable outgoing traffic, external traffic to the Kubernetes cluster there. What else here? I think that's all the topics. So actually, I tried to explain almost 40% of all of the concept, but you need to do lots of exercise in order to understand the main logic here. So this is the high-level definition of the pod service deployment, but we will provide some detailed explanation of each of the component in the future webinars. So if you have any kind of question, I can happily answer them. Okay, thank you. So we are trying to interactive, by the way, by these webinars, and also with our Slack channel, we will be able to more interactive. You can ask us any kind of question for this. I will send a survey for the next webinar, and you can provide your feedback. Yeah, I will share the recording video. It is currently recording to the cloud. I will share the video. But there must be a problem for the starting points. But if you have any kind of question, you can ask for that part. So I will share all the materials with the videos after the recording, so you will be able to access that materials also. Okay. Yeah, it has been 1.5 years using Kubernetes, but I had a chance to use Kubernetes on the production environment. So um, at start point, it is very hard to learn some commands about the kubectl, but after a time, you will be able to know that kubectl commands in very well manner. But it will be better if you create your cluster, do some fatal errors, or crash your clusters, crash your applications. And by doing that kind of errors, you will be able to master your Kubernetes knowledge. You need to do lots of best practice about this. Okay then, thank you all for coming to this session, and hope we will meet in next webinar as soon as possible. Do not forget to provide your feedbacks to the survey that I will send to you after the meetup. And have a nice day, have a good night, whatever you want. See you.